Come on and get your sign. Come on and get your sign.
I remember my grandfather telling me, God rest his soul, before he passed away, that men have 4 different appetites that you have to tend to. He said, men are not complicated. He said, I'm just going to break it down to you. He told me, he said, men have a physical appetite, a visual appetite, a sexual appetite, and an emotional appetite. And for a minute, I really didn't understand it when I was younger, but as I got older, it really started to click. It always stayed with me. He said, physically, you need to make sure that you know how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, then find out how to cook. And if you can't, then at least have a meal on the stove or in the stove. By the time he get there, that's warm, especially if that man is taking care of the household. He said, it don't take a lot of work. He said it don't. And I watched my grandmother do it. I watched her do it, so I know that I'm capable. He said a visual appetite. He said, keep yourself up. He said, if you're the only woman that this man is going to be with, at least keep yourself up. He said, because men still need to be stimulated visually, so that way they can crave you. He said, and yeah, he said, love will still be there. He said, and although your looks will fade, you the one woman that he wants to look at. Give him something, excite him, make him imagine something, tease him, right? And then there's a sexual. My grandfather told me, he said that, yes, visually you can stimulate a man. He said, but don't forget that men are sexual in nature. He said, and so they're going to want to do what they want to do to their woman. You're the only woman that he's sleeping with. You're the only woman that he desired. Take some time out of y'all day. He said, look, if y'all got to share the responsibilities, share the responsibilities. You both do things in the house, so that way when the kids are down, y'all both can bathe and oil each other down and do what y'all need to do. He said, that's going to help y'all connect. And then last one, he said, men do have an emotional appetite. He said, all men want to feel is appreciated, understood, heard. That's it. He said, just listen to him. You don't got to talk much. Just listen. He always told me that men are not that complicated. He's absolutely right.
City girls and country girls up by 25. That's what I'm gonna say. Now, let me go ahead and jump on it right now, because I already know, watching this video, well, not me, a lot of chicks done watched this video and stirred up in their emotions like, yeah, whatever. A man can still do all that and he can still cheat. Yeah, we'll take care of the household, do a whole bunch of stuff. Y'all still cheat too. Stop it. All right? Everybody got to find somebody to cheat with, unless you are in a homosexual relationship. Somebody need to stop the cap. All right? Because in order to do, one of y'all or one of us got to be doing it with the opposite. All right, so we got to stop the cap. And plus, this is the video catering to the guys. All right, now here's what I'm gonna break down about this. There's nothing wrong with this woman said. Not at all. There's nothing wrong with what she said. You know, I've seen a lot of comments and a lot of chicks posts when they put this thing up. A lot of chicks was in the comments talking about, number one, talking about a man can, you can do all that for a man. He's still gonna cheat on you and still find a way how to be selfish and everything. And then I saw another comment where it said, well, we're not living in the past anymore. You know, the things that your grandmama and your granddaddy used to do, that's in the past, which is true. That's what they did in the past. But one thing we can't deny is teaching. And one thing we can't deny is the things that we gotta honor our ancestors, man. Our ancestors, look, they didn't mean wrong. You know, did everything that they tell us was right? No. But a lot of the reasons why we as people deal with what we deal with in the world today is because we don't listen to our ancestors. We don't listen to old teaching. We are out here developing all these podcasts and putting out all these books and tweeting and putting our status and our captions on how we feel about today's dating game and today's marriages. And a lot of things would be sold up had we held on to those old teaching. Now, not saying that all of them work, because they all don't work. There's always a change in time, out with the old, in with the what? The new. So I'm gonna say this right here, man. Number one, we don't allow, look, bitter chicks, you can be bitter if you want to, because you have a reason to feel. All right, you do have a reason to feel. Nobody's diminishing your feelings. But when you're feeling a certain type of way, and before you start calling women like these pick-me's, you have to really look yourself in the mirror and be like, am I standing in my own way? Yeah, just because you done dated a couple people or dated about 8, 9 people and it all went wrong, it does not mean that you should be bitter all the time anytime you see somebody talking about what worked for them. Because this is not bad game. This is not bad game. This is no different from if a little boy is being raised up by his mom, his grandmother, his aunties, and his sisters or whatever, and they're teaching him how to be a young man, teaching him how to navigate and maneuver as a man on what a woman wants, what a woman seek from a man. So there's no difference, all right? So the problem what I have is that anytime when a video comes out where a woman is catering to a man's needs or putting out there that she received game from an OG, these chicks tend to always on women like these and call them pick-me's. When the whole time, you don't receive all your game from your bitter ass mama, auntie, grandmama, and all them, and it ain't got you nowhere. Okay? Now I'm not saying that good people can't get played. People get played all the time, men and women. But what I don't like is that what you don't see a bunch of dudes, right? You don't see women out here talking about the game that they receive. You don't see women out here putting out all the things that they need men to do as far as the upbringing. And men are in the comments talking about, oh, I disagree, I'm not doing that. The most thing you'll probably hear a man, and this is not me, the most thing you'll probably hear a dude really complain about for real, is these Dusties talking about, oh, I'm going half on the bill. I'm going half on the rent, stuff like that. That's little stuff. Other than that, man, we already are trained and equipped, not all of us, but we are already trained on what we should do in order to get that woman. We already know, or that young lady, or that older woman. It doesn't matter. Boys know these things growing up as well. The problem is that the world has been catering to the coddling of young girls. And not all young girls receive good game growing up. They think they receive good game because they watch Housewives. They think they receive good game because they got it from their single mama or their bitter mama. And then it carries on. A generational curse. A lot of you chicks are walking around with generational curses right above your shoulders. Right above, it's a dark cloud sitting right over you, and every man you go to, you run them off. Because you just won't sit back and take good game. You rather ish on your sisters that putting out good game. This is only good point. I always tell people, if it's going to help us, excuse me. I always tell people, if it's going to help us, take the game. Take the game for what it is. Now, if it sounds like absolute BS, well, God dog, go get a puppy. Go get a puppy, bro. Because, this bitter stuff, especially when it comes to catering to guys and letting young ladies know or letting women know what they should do, or take some tips on what they should do in order to maintain that guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But fellas, y'all gotta be real, and ladies, y'all gotta be real, man. It is a toxic game out here when it comes to any video that floats around the internet that's in favor of us. Look, from here on out, we got to say this. That ain't our problem. That is not our problem. You want to be bitter, go be bitter over there. Okay, there's a big bitter section full of chicks, full of people over there that you can cater to, lie to, coddle with, and it won't get you nowhere. What we trying to do, we trying to grow, we trying to elevate, all right? There's no difference, man. All right, so game is game no matter how you see it. Y'all got to stop calling, and like I said before, a lot of y'all that be sitting here calling these women pick-me's, a lot of them really are coming from a good place. You just feel on the inside. And when you feel on the inside, that means that's probably the truth operating on you, but you just can't handle it. Hence, why you ain't got no man. Or hence, why you can't keep one. When the truth hits home, it's not supposed to feel good all the time. And if you operate on that truth, it'll decrease the amount of times you actually feel and will be impulsive about, what your responses. But a lot of y'all ain't y'all not ready for that conversation. You rather act out when you feel. Every time you feel and you disagree, you act out. You cut a fool. You say you come from a better place and say, oh, well, well, they're going to be selfish anyway. They're going to cheat. They're going to do this. There's no point. There's no point in helping these men. Go get a hamster. It's that easy. You bitter, but you still going on dates with these dudes. You still looking for somebody to entertain or entertain you. You might as well take the game. Take the game for what it is. But unfortunately, y'all, you can't save everybody. Can't save everybody. Almost like what I tell black people all the time. All skin folk ain't kin folks. Same thing. Just because somebody black, that don't mean they for you. They might be on the opposing side at war against you. So, just because we see chicks out here, just because we see females out here, all of them ain't rap type. And just because we see men walking around out here, these males, all of them ain't rap type. This is why I put a fine line in all my discussions. I put a fine line and say there's some people that's solid and there's some dusties. We do not speak on behalf of what? Dusties. Dusty talk, bitter talk, take that over there, man. We're here to elevate. We're here to evolve. And that's what we're here for. And we're here to heal, most importantly. So this is not a video to try to piss everybody off. This is just to learn. Just to learn and take the game and share it amongst your folks out there, who may need the game, who may need the help. Or maybe you might need the help. So ease up, man. Ease up on the sisters out here that's really trying to put in that work on behalf of the fellas. Because the game needs it. The game needs it, and we don't need it to be clouded and oversaturated with a bunch of bitter ass, not women.